it's probably gusting pretty hard there.
It is probably at the moment. I have been keeping an eye on some of those radar loops and some of those roads in the way, so I don't have a number for you yet. But here, this is actually right in the path of the tornado warning. Right here, Dandy Trail, I-74, just west of the Speedway area. So this looks like a ferocious beast, and there's unfortunately a lot of people driving right into it at the moment. So if you're taking I-74 out towards Brownsburg past Greenway or Speedway, you know anyone going that way, tell them to stop, immediately turn around, because I'm going to throw up exactly where this sort of webcam is. And again, that is in the southern part of this tornado warning, going right towards Brownsburg. So all those people you saw moving upwards out of the shot, unfortunately, we're moving right towards that tornado. So we've got some very bad conditions, unfortunately, and not enough people aware of what's coming their way. We also have our own Tim Spears in a live mobile news tracker here, Marion County, and I'm sure he'll be able to let us know kind of what's going on in the very, very central part of the state. Only a small fraction of Marion County under this tornado warning. But how are things looking briefly out there before we go back to the tornado on the ground, Tim?
Well, Drew, we're getting to 465 so we can loop back around and come see as this storm hits downtown Indianapolis. Actually, then we're going to head north and see in that area where we've heard reports of a tornado and see if there is any actual damage there and get the on-the-ground eyes. I'll just tell you, we were on the west side of Indy right about 9 o'clock, and in a less than 10-minute span, I saw at least 4 heavy lightning strikes, and I actually posted a picture. You can see that on Wish TV's social media pages right now. They were pretty deliberate, and they're starting to get more frequent even around central Indianapolis. But obviously right now it's not the torrential rain, it's not the heavy winds that we're seeing in other parts of the areas, but we're about to loop back around and get to those areas right now. Reporting from the mobile news tracker, Tim Spears for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook for updates.
All right, thank you, Tim. And please be safe. Do not go into the tornado warning. Try to get some cover here because this tornado is rain-wrapped. Stephen, you had an update from the Weather Service?
Yeah, tornado in Brownsburg right now.
All right, so tornado is on the ground in Brownsburg. Let's zoom all the way in on velocity. Interesting. Yeah, here is the debris signature. Stephen's going to circle here. So correlation coefficient. Oh, we just raced
really
off to the east. Zoom out here. You might want to put it just in the last 30 minutes and try to. You know what, let's just go to velocity.
Yeah, velocity tells you the story.
So there is that couplet. Just went through Brownsburg, now drifting off to the east. If you know anyone on 465, also traveling 65, or it looks like just crossed 74 here, all taking cover immediately. This storm has already produced a tornado just west of Brownsburg. And Stephen, did you say it made it through Brownsburg?
They said, the Weather Service said high confidence of a tornado ongoing in Brownsburg at this time.
All right. Look, just take cover, lowest level of your home, interior room, away from outside, as many walls as you can put between yourself and the outside. So this area of rotation, Stephen, now is going to be closing on 65. And look, Zionsville, you're in the center of this warning going forward. So concern is going to be rising here on the northwest side of the metro area, especially considering how fast this area of rotation is moving. Stephen put a highlight on it. It's moving 60 to 65 miles an hour. So you're going to not have much time out ahead of this warning for areas like Carmel. If we get another warning, Noblesville, Cicero, you all need to monitor this situation. It is a confirmed tornado in Hendricks County. Stephen just put a tracker on it. Zionsville at 921, Butler at 923. It looks like Carmel 928 and Fishers at 933. A lot of those locations not included in the warning just yet. Are they going to issue a new one?
Remainder of Marion's now under a destructive thunderstorm warning.
Okay, all right. Let's zoom out a touch. I know we're focused on the tornado warning, but when you have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, we don't get this that often. That is 80-mile-an-hour plus wind gusts. And I'm going to talk to Drew behind the scenes because we just had the line reach the airport. So, Drew, pay attention to see what we get for a wind gust at the airport. Did they just report one?
The Pacers game just concluded.
Oh, my gosh. All right.
Yeah, not a good time.
Hopefully
they're keeping the fans there or something along those lines where people are safe.
Reach out to anyone at the Pacers game. Try to seek shelter. You don't want to be exiting to potentially 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts plus the tornado we have just east of Brownsburg.
Just want to know, we could have some power loss here soon.
Yeah, just be prepared. I know we have plenty of people behind the scenes to kind of monitor power outages here because these winds are pretty serious going into the metro area. All right, let's go back to the confirmed tornado, because obviously that is one of our big concerns here.
I think it retightened, especially on the inbound side, Ryan.
It does look a bit tight. So what Steven's pointing out again is velocity. Red's going away from our radar site. Think a car with its brake lights, it's going away from our radar site. Green is towards, so we're going circulation. So that's what we're going to be watching. All right, we're going to take Kyla, who I believe's out and about. Kyla, I hope you're safe. And again, don't drive too much into this tornado warning or get caught up in some of the winds, because it is pretty serious.
Yeah, Ryan, thanks so much. We are safe. We're here in the car, and you can hear I'm out of breath here after we last spoke. We needed to grab shelter. As you can see, you're looking at the steam that has kind of accumulated here in the car from all of the severe weather around us. You might see flashes of light from the side. That's that lightning that I talked about kind of creeping in here. So of course, the conditions out here, the wind especially, is unsafe. If you are outside or you are anywhere near outside, please seek shelter. I can tell you firsthand that it's not safe to be standing out there in any way. Like I said, you're looking at kind of the steam here. If I write something, you can see just how much has accumulated here. If that gives you some sort of visual as my photog Blake kind of moves in on that there. Like I said, continue to make sure you seek shelter here. If you are in Hendricks County, we are specifically in Brownsburg at the intersection of Hornaday Street and Main Street. So if you're anywhere near this area, speaking from firsthand experience, make sure you are safe and you've seeked shelter. For now, I will send it back to you all in the studio to make sure we can do the same.
All right, thanks, Kyla. Please take shelter. Obviously, it is now a pretty serious situation where we have 80-mile-an-hour gusts closing in on the metro area, and the Weather Service is still saying this tornado is on the ground in parts of Hendricks County. So, Stephen, let's zoom all the way into Hendricks County. The line of strong storms just went through the airport with potentially wind gusts 80 miles an hour plus, but it's the city's northwest side. All right, let's get the velocity scan and see what's the update on the velocity. That is pretty tight, and this is north and west of Speedway. This is potentially a tornado on the ground. We've had it confirmed on the ground. But
there's debris.
There is debris. So what Steven's referring to is debris is being lofted up into the air, and we're getting into the west side of the metro counties, or I should say just about to move into Marion County, and there's clearly debris now on our debris tracker. Is the Weather Service mentioning anything about?
Here I go back in there. I've been really bouncing back and forth. Tornado moving into northwestern Marion County now. Still high confidence is ongoing. Well, we can see debris there.
Yep.
High confidence tornado is ongoing. Debris signature over Eagle Creek. It's moving towards Meridian Hills. Basically going to cross over parts of the 465 loop on the north side as well.
All right. And what we're going to do here is Drew and people behind the scenes, we're going to try to get some cameras on 65 or 465. We may get it crossing 65. If we do have a camera on the northwest side, we may get this crossing the highway. Drew, do you happen to have a camera there?
Yeah, I think I might have a camera.
All right, let's pull up Drew and see what camera he's got behind him, because again, this tornado is going to cross 65 any moment.
New tornado warning through Carmel observed. Okay. Carmel, Fishers, Meridian Hills take cover now. Noblesville as well.
All right, let's quickly send it to Drew and see if we can catch this thing crossing the interstate.
Yes, this is I-465 out near North Michigan Road. We are looking southwards, and that's where the storm would be moving towards us if we can. Of course, you can see downtown also starting to get hit by those strong storms. I want to go back to my graphic because that's going to show you exactly where we're looking southward, just in front of, and now I guess in the new line of that tornado warning. So we're around North Augusta Addition, pushing southward or looking southward on that map towards Northwest Manor. So again, that's sort of where we're seeing the debris field at the moment. That's likely where the tornado is lying. And as you can see, you can't see anything. It's so rain wrapped. And honestly, at this point, it looks like the worst of those storms are pretty much hitting right now as we speak. I'm not seeing any hail at the moment again, but unfortunately, if there is a tornado out there, there's a lot of people out on the roadways, and there's also no way of seeing anything coming towards you. So again, this is going to be the map that will be, or the webcam will be continuing to keep an eye on, just because it's right in the path. It's looking south. It's not perfect. It was looking a little bit southwest. It would be ideal, as likely this is where somewhere, if there is a tornado still on the ground, it is off on this side of your screen. So again, we'll be keeping an eye on this, tracking this, hoping we see more and more shots of this so we can kind of track it alongside, make sure it's not, going immediately over somewhere where we can see, hey, it's exactly at this interstate, be prepared.
All right, thanks, Drew. And obviously a good shot there because that is where our tornado is potentially crossing the interstate. We do want to get you updated. We do have a new tornado warning, and it's a confirmed tornado warning that includes Carmel, Fishers, Noblesville, Cicero, and basically the area of circulation is right over Zionsville as we speak. New tornado warning runs, what is that, Stephen, until 9:45?
9:45.
All right, so 9:45, and it's moving very quickly off to the northeast at 60 to 65 miles an hour. Let's go right back in and try to name as many streets as possible, Stephen.
Yes.
As many streets as possible. Pull up velocity too, because I think velocity is giving us our best picture here.
So like West 86th Street through the north section of Indianapolis up to East 106th, 116th, 126th Street up to 161st Street, Westfield Road up through New Britain, Noblesville, Westfield, US 31, State Road 32, State Road 37 through Noblesville. And by the way, we're getting ready to get the brunt of the wind right now.
Okay, we might have our lights flicker here at the station.
If you lose power, folks, we are streaming live on the Facebook page on Wish TV. So again, if you lose power,
great
we are
point.
over there.
Great point. If you do lose power, we're still live on Facebook, so you can obviously get our updates from there if you happen to lose the power here in a second as we have these strong winds closing in on the metro. Stephen, put up a debris tracker. Let's see if we still have that debris signature.
Very faint debris signature still right here west of Meridian Hills. I'd say it's probably just closing in on Meridian Hills now, getting across US 31 in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, so look, US 31, and honestly, just reach out to anyone on the roads. You should not be on the roads in the metro area. I can't emphasize that enough. Obviously, we have this confirmed tornado, which is moving into some populated areas, but that's not to mention our winds are gusting 80 miles an hour plus, and we're about to get potentially a reading at the airport on what exactly the wind gust was there. But overall, we're still seeing that debris signature that is indicating we still have rotation and potentially a tornado on the ground in very populated areas moving off to the northeast. Carmel, everyone off to the northeast needs to seek shelter. Okay. All right, Drew just interrupted me. We got a 75 mile an hour wind gust down. 65. Okay. Any word at the airport?
At the airport is where we got that.
Okay, so not yet downtown. All right, we're going to take this live. Who's at the? Let's see. Let's take someone live at the airport. I believe Tim's live at the airport. Let's go over to Tim.
Yeah, we're actually right by the airport. We're on 465, and it was just moments ago, maybe about 5 minutes ago, we were on the southern tip of 465, and we saw a power line go down in the distance inside the loop. And about that time, that's when we started getting this kind of blinding rain and started feeling the wind with the car. We're going at a very slow speed. So is everyone else on the road. Some people have stopped on the sides of the road just because this rain picked up so quickly. We're trying to wait for really the storm in the northern tip of town to pass a little more. We may end up stopping at some point soon just to let that happen, and then we're going to try to get behind this a bit. But yeah, you can feel it right now. And obviously the drivers can feel it right now. Fortunately, there aren't too many people on the road, but that's just really the time of night. I mean, you can see it for yourself. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Tim. And obviously stay safe on the roads considering all that rain and the wind we're dealing with. We got a new update from the National Weather Service, and southwest side of Carmel, they are noting that the area rotation is starting to retighten here. So Carmel in your safe spot, Fishers in your safe spot, Noblesville, Cicero, Westfield. Our warning here is going to be running until 9:45, but this tornado may still be on the ground. And look, Stephen, that's pretty tight again.
And just to quickly mention, the nasty line of winds that are moving through these velocity signatures are pretty nasty. I just want to quickly mention through Beech Grove, passing through Irvington, Warren Park, heading into Lawrence now, towards the northeast side through Geist Reservoir soon. That's some of the locations included, especially the Geist Reservoir is in the tornado warning as well.
Okay. All right, so we have plenty of areas in this tornado warning, but can't emphasize enough, we're having the strong winds make it downtown, and we can hear it on our roof now.
Oh, yeah.
Gusting potentially 70 miles an hour plus. The warning's out for 80 miles an hour plus. A severe thunderstorm warning, a destructive tag on that severe thunderstorm warning for the metro area and points east. Let's pull up tower camera behind me. I don't know if we can shift this tower camera east.
Yeah.
I believe we can look
a little bit, maybe
east. It's tough to see, obviously, because we have rain falling down very quickly and the strong winds. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing much going this direction just because of how much rain's falling. All right, now pulling up the velocity scan Stephen just put up. Obviously, our concern is the tornado warning, the confirmed one on the ground. But velocity potentially indicating wind gusts 70, 80, and this one scan Stephen just picked up maybe over 90-mile-an-hour winds. So that is some serious wind that is now on the east side of the metro area going through Lawrence, and it looks like we may have
debris signature. Tornado moving into Carmel. Carmel,
all right,
shelter
Carmel.
now.
Carmel, you need to seek shelter immediately. Lowest level of your home. Try to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We do have that confirmed tornado that's on the ground again, producing, and you can see debris lofted in our atmosphere. It looks like it is crossing US 31 as we speak and then drifting off further to the east, but basically is going to be on top of Carmel very quickly, right in the middle of Carmel. So this is a very populated area, Steve.
Absolutely, very populated. Lots of really nice homes up here as well. Now heading towards Noblesville, Cicero, Westfield. You guys are next. And my dad also told me the sirens were going off in Indy, too.
All right, I'm going to switch camera over to Drew Narsudis. He's got a camera on US 31, and that is right where our tornado is for the moment. So let's switch our camera to Drew.
Yeah, this view just north of Carmel at the moment, so likely the tornado just south of here. You can see it is looking intense, low visibilities. People have now, looks like, stopped on the side of the road as, wow, it is looking very bad at the moment. So we are going to keep an eye out as that storm moves through. We also have new wind gust readings, 70-mile-per-hour gusts, Monrovia, Indiana, 70-mile-per-hour gusts just northeast of Danville, and of course those semis we talked about tipping over. But again, it's going to be those webcams we want to keep an eye out. That might even be lightning, maybe even some power flashes thrown in there. It's hard to tell because of how much rain.
All right, I just want to give a quick update. We're going all the way into Carmel because the National Weather Service is saying there is high confidence of a tornado on the ground in Carmel. And Stephen has circled that debris signature, which is appearing on your screen right there. What are you adding, Stephen?
We're about to get a new track on this. Weather Service is saying it appears to have started near 31 and 116th Street. Now it's near Main Street and Keystone, roughly. All
right, zoom all the way in. Let's get a bunch of streets because obviously this is a very populated area. And boy, you can really see that debris signature in Carmel.
East 126th Street right now, along that East Main Street. I'd say right now our new scan would be just east of Carmel, roughly, since how fast it's moving. Heading eventually towards River Road. That's a north-south route. East 146th Street. Eventually heading up towards like Noblesville. East 161st. East 171st up towards Westfield Road, towards State Road 32. Also talking State Road 37 north towards Noblesville too.
All right. Something I want to point out that Stephen was just mentioning. You have to keep in mind with our radar scans, we're getting scans of what happened. And with this zooming off to the east, northeast, and northeast at 60, 65 miles an hour, Stephen's right. We're going to get the scan probably further up here the next minute or two to see where it's going.
Oh, just update.
Yeah, all right, let's go back into
still there.
Zoom back into that debris signature. And yeah, right here, we still have that debris signature present right in the middle of Carmel and drifting off to the northeast very quickly at 60 to 65 miles an hour. East Main Street, right there, right on top of that debris signature. So the tornado is right on top of you. We'll get another scan in a minute or two, but with it moving so quickly to the northeast at 60 to 65 miles an hour, we got some more areas under the gun, including areas potentially in Noblesville, points south. Stephen, were you going to add something?
I'm going to get a track on this.
Okay, let's get a track on that. So our tornado is right here, right in the middle of Carmel, drifting off to the northeast at 65 miles an hour. It's right on top of Westfield right now, or I should say the northern mode where you're getting the damaging wind. The actual circulation's right in Carmel. Noblesville at 938. Frankton at 954, and it looks like Alexandria at 959. So we do have many areas outside this tornado warning that may get added to the next tornado warning that is issued from the Weather Service. Yeah.
We got a train spotter reporting rain wrapping, power flashes, and heavy wind damage at 71st and Allisonville Road, Marion County.
All right, let's go back to reflectivity because there's one thing I really want to point out with this tornado. it is completely rain wrapped. If you are in Carmel, Fishers, or Noblesville and want to go outside and see this tornado, you are not going to see anything. It is going to be rain wrapped, so there is no reason to be outside trying to get a look at this tornado that is on the ground, has a history of producing damage off to the south and west. Did the Weather Service just add an update?
No, I cannot get a visual on the tornado due to darkness and rain. Coupled with the debris signature still present. Main Street and Gray and Carmel, roughly, now near Hazel Dell, just south of 146.
All right,
it's just a matter of minutes from State Road 37.
All right, we actually have a live camera in Carmel. Drew's going to be on that.
Yeah, this is actually Main Street, you guys. So this is right where we were thinking that tornado might be. It was an ominous green glow, and there was a lot of shaking and, of course, rain earlier. It looks like things have settled down, but it still looks quite messy out on Main Street. So we'll continue to track these on some of our webcams as it moves through the northern part of the Indianapolis area.
All right, let's get back to that debris signature, because that is still very much pronounced on our radar right now. Tornado on the ground. Looks like the east side of Carmel, and Drew was just pointing out our Main Street camera, which is in downtown Carmel. But now just off to the east is where we have that debris signature that is very much present. And the Weather Service has this warning all the way out. I believe, Drew and Stephen, it was, what, 9:45?
I think it was, 9:45.
Okay, 9:45. We're probably at this point, I'd say definitely going to get another tornado warning off to the north and east.
Very likely.
Yeah, so get prepared for that. That debris signature, very much there. Let's get the velocity couplet and see how the winds are doing with it. And overall, the velocity couplet isn't as pronounced, but it's still there. Let's get the wind measurements on it. So our radar site, it's in Indianapolis, which is off to the south and west. The red's going away, the green is coming towards, going away at 15 miles an hour, going towards, looks like near 50 miles an hour. So that rotation's still there. And look, what's going to happen here with this confirmed tornado, even when it lifts, it will carry over some of that debris further off to the east. So still confirmed on the ground, east side of Carmel, right around Main Street area, and drifting off to the east. Noblesville, you're the next one under the gun here, especially south of Noblesville. Should be taking shelter immediately. And look, we just got that refresh.
Right up on Noblesville.
Yeah.
Noblesville, last second call. Take cover now.
Yeah,
it's been
take
on the
cover.
ground for the last, 10 minutes about?
Immediately take cover, especially considering this area has a history of producing damage. It's been through some populated areas, and it looks like it could still be on the ground with the way it's trending here. Let's go back to the debris signature, because that kind of tells us the story of how well this thing's holding together. Yep, and we still have that debris signature, which is south of Noblesville. Stephen is circling that. Did you want to add something here?
I needed to add that swath of nasty wind from 70 to 80 miles per hour pushing through McCordsville, Cumberland, along Interstate 70, along 36 there.
Okay.
Sarah 36, basically passed through far east side Geist Reservoir.
Got it.
Moving in towards Fortville, areas in the remainder of Hancock, southern Madison County. You need to get ready for this. It's going to eventually race towards State Road 9, towards Greenfield and Pendleton.
You are correct. So let's zoom back out. Let's get the tracker into the neighboring counties, because we are expecting, and it looks like that debris signature backed off there.
They're going to extend the tornado warning regardless.
But they're going to extend the tornado warning regardless. So let's get the next counties and next locations under the gun. Drifting to the northeast or east-northeast at about 60 to 65 miles an hour. Storm system's racing and going to be exiting now out of Hamilton County and going into Madison County. So Madison County, you need to start paying attention. We're probably going to get a warning any second here that's going to be issued for Madison County. All right, let's switch it to Drew. Drew's got some more cameras that we can potentially check in on.
Yeah, we're now at State Road 37 out in just south of the Noblesville area, where you can see things are getting worse and worse by the second. Hardly even see the camera anymore. Just to place this exactly where it is, Noblesville here, I-70 37. It's just south of town, looking westward, looking right towards where maybe that debris field is starting to pass at the moment. So again, it's really nasty out there. The good news is I saw only one car out there on the roadway maybe about a minute ago. So hopefully people are smartening up and staying off the roadways for now. Of course, we'll be tracking this as it continues to go further out towards the northeast. It looks like we also have a little bit of video to show folks at the moment right now as well.
All right, let's see that video, because I'm kind of curious where this video, do we know the location and where this video is coming out of?
It looks like, well, this is just from our new, yeah, this is from Al, of course, one of our news director.
Looking outside,
yeah,
right?
this is looking outside here.
Oh,
so,
my
yeah,
goodness.
Plenty of wind, stop sign just going nuts as that wind moves through our region. We were expecting 60, 70, 80 mile per hour gusts possible along this line of storms. As you mentioned, Ryan, we don't get these sort of severe storm warnings to this level very often. So we're going to be hunkering down while this moves through. At least it's not a tornado moving through our neighborhoods right now like it is just off north.
All right, we got a new update from the National Weather Service. They do have a downstream tornado warning coming. Did they just issue it?
Not yet, but I
Okay.
do have a couple of damage reports. We got damage in Brownsburg on 136 near Green Street. Wood, debris, limbs, cannot see structure damage yet. Hopefully there is no structure damage. We don't want to hear about that. Also, New Goshen, northern Vigo County, fire doing house into house check, multiple lines down, roof damage, no reports of injuries. Tornado warning observed. Hamilton, Madison, Tipton. Listen, Madison County, if you are in basically southern half of Madison at least, through Anderson, Pendleton, I would assume the warning goes to Anderson.
I'm pretty sure at this point we'll probably get it to Anderson or Pendleton, and that's going to be issued any moment, and it looks like we just got it.
Just issued.
All right, so new tornado warning still includes Noblesville, and I know Fishers is still in the tornado warning. I believe our area of rotation is just off to the south and east of Noblesville. This warning runs until 10:15. Includes Madison County as well. This area of rotation will be exiting Hamilton County and going into Madison County. And any word if we still have this thing on the ground, or are they just
radar confirmed tornado.
radar confirmed? So they're still going radar confirmed tornado with this system that's now drifting off to the north and east. Let's check back in on the debris signature, because that has been our identifier of this on the ground. And looks like, Stephen, we don't have it anymore potentially.
Yeah.
Let's pull up velocity then. And see if that's still tight. So our area of rotation is still trying to hold together east of Noblesville. Lapel, you're next in line, drifting off to the north and east, and eventually Madison County. I know Anderson is now included in this confirmed tornado warning, stretching. Again, we'll see how this rotation does hold together. It looks like it's loosening up compared to when it went through Carmel, but nonetheless, we have it on the ground. One thing I want to check in on pretty quickly here, Stephen, we haven't checked in on the severe thunderstorm warning with the destructive tag.
Yeah.
Winds gusting 80 miles an hour plus. So let's go back down to that. Did we end up getting another destructive tag?
Yes, we did. It looks like it. No, we actually no.
Yeah, I
never
think
mind.
maybe
The colors,
right here.
This one's still the one.
What about for Greenfield?
Yes, that one's still a destructive
All
tag.
right,
Though.
so Greenfield and points east. I know Newcastle is at the fringe of this severe thunderstorm warning. We have Hancock County included, and basically treat this as a tornado warning. When you have winds gusting 80 miles an hour plus, what's happening within this severe thunderstorm warning is you're getting that alert to your phone as if it's a tornado on the ground. You're getting phone alerts, and Stephen just highlighted this line is still producing 60, 70, 80 mile an hour gusts, which could do as much damage as a tornado itself. So that is why your phones are blaring basically in Hancock County all the way stretching to Henry County and Newcastle. And still we have that Boeing line potentially producing that tornado, which is just east of Noblesville for the moment here. I think Drew has an update. Do you have an update on storm reports?
We have wind reports, yes. Not too much damage reports as of yet, but certainly some very high wind gusts, 63 mile per hour just south of Delphi, Indiana, 65 mile per hour gust at the Indy International Airport, as we were mentioning, and an 81 mile per hour gust just east of Danville, Indianapolis. And those are the kind of winds that, Ryan, you've been talking about all afternoon, evening long.
All right, thank you, Drew. I do want to talk to some of our behind-the-scenes people. I know we had, I believe we had Kyla and Tim kind of near Hendricks County. One of them was near the airport. Stephen, where'd you say they had damage? Just west of Brownsburg?
Brownsburg.
All right, so I would start to send them potentially up to check on what's going on in Brownsburg. Obviously, we have the damage in Carmel as well. So those are two spots we're going to be checking in on pretty shortly. So the Boeing segment is our concern, 80 mile an hour wind gusts, and then the confirmed tornado. Let's go back into that tornado warning and see how that rotation is doing.
They said the couplets weakened a little bit,
right,
but
good.
basically enough confidence to maintain the warning.
Got it. So this warning still, I believe, runs to 10.
Yes,
And
10
it's
o'clock.
right over
10, 15.
Lapel. Right over Lapel, east of Noblesville. What is that, State Road 32?
State Road 32.
32.
State Road 38. You should not be on State Road 32 from Anderson to Noblesville. We saw an incredible amount of people on the road earlier on 70 in western Indiana. We don't want you traveling.
Yeah.
I know some people work late shifts, but you got to take your life seriously in this situation, okay?
And look, coming into picture, I know we have Anderson, but also I-69, one of our major interstates. If you happen to know any family and friends that are traveling 69, we'll have the same message as what this went through the metro area. When you're on the main roads and getting some of these serious gusts and obviously confirmed tornado, you don't want to be on the roads in this situation. So those left over in this confirmed tornado warning, including Anderson, just seek shelter, ride out this. You're not going to go outside and see this. I know, I get it. We're in the Midwest. A lot of people want to go outside and see the confirmed tornado come in your direction. It is so far rain wrapped that any rotation you're basically not going to see if you're going out on your front porch trying to see it. So just don't do it here in the next 10, 20 minutes here and let this just pass by. Overall, let's go back to the severe thunderstorm warning. I know we haven't checked in much south of I-70. Do we have any warnings there?
We do have a few thunderstorm warnings. I've been checking periodically. I
Okay.
have not seen much in the way of rotation, thankfully. But okay,
Yeah.
there's a new tornado on the ground, and I want to say that is not Du Bois County, but that's Pike County.
Okay, all right, that's
so we'll check on that
relative.
later.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. You said Du Bois County, correct?
No, that's Pike.
Pike County, and this is drifting off to the north and east.
It is heading towards Du Bois County eventually.
Yeah, so
yes.
and then eventually Bedford and Bloomington may have to watch this.
So we'll
as well.
keep an eye on that for you
But
guys.
obviously, our main concern is what's going on in the metro area. South of I-70, it's just mainly been a line of severe thunderstorm warnings that were 60, 70 miles an hour plus. Obviously, the concern in the metro area was 80-mile-an-hour winds, as well as that tornado, which was on the ground. What it seems like from Brownsburg all the way to Carmel, and maybe even a little bit further east, based on some of our radar signatures here. Where are we going to have?
Yeah, and I was going to say, too, with Indy, much of these severe thunderstorm aspects have basically slid out of Marion County.
Okay.
But understand, though, there's heavy rain, and we do have a flash flood risk in place, too, so be aware of that as well.
I'm going to talk to Drew here. Drew, next report, I'm curious how much rain has fallen at the airport.
Absolutely.
Because we've been in heavy rain for a bit, and that is a huge concern going in through this evening, tonight, and basically all the way through, I believe, Sunday morning. We could get 4 to 7 inches of rain. So that is a huge concern. Let's go back into the tornado warning, because the tornado warning still runs here through the top of the hour. We've interrupted regular scheduled programming. It does look a little bit tighter there, Stephen.
I think
north of
it's
Lapel.
what I think is happening, and I hope it's not. It's trying to, I think, find a new circulation
That's what I was
in the
going to
line.
say. What it might be doing here, as Stephen was mentioning, it might pop out a new circulation just to the east of it if it's cycling through here. But that's yet to be seen. All right, we're going to check in with Tim. All right, never mind. We'll check in with him in a moment. I know we have plenty of crew on the city's west side and also in Hendricks County. I'm sure we'll have a crew up to Carmel. But as Stephen was noting, we have that slight area of rotation. The debris signature has left us here, but we may be getting a new circulation just
We got a
off
new
to the
tornado
east.
warning in northern Madison.
Okay. Oh, and
I was
look,
confused
look,
with where
we
it was
got a
at
new
first.
one right here.
Yeah.
All right, let's go up to that. That one includes Elwood, Madison County. It looks like Tipton County
Yes.
and northern parts of Hamilton County. What does that
Correct.
run to? And this
This
is
runs
radar
until 10
indicated.
p.m. Yeah, radar indicated. Elwood, Frankton, Alexandria. Take cover now. This line of storms has had a history of producing possibly widespread wind damage. We'll wait for further reports on that. We've had a tornado that has possibly skipped along a path.
We'll see
or-
if it was on the ground the whole time, or
it's
we don't
possible
really
too.
know. You won't know until the Weather Service gets out there and does survey the damage. But as Stephen was mentioning, if you are in any of these locations out ahead of the line and you've seen any of our coverage, you're taking shelter immediately. We've had confirmed tornadoes. We've had the gusts 80 miles an hour. So it's not a matter of if this is going to happen. It's about a matter of when and what you're going to get once the line gets to you. So that area of rotation does look a bit broad, radar indicated, moving off to the northeast also at 60 to 65 miles an hour.
55, but
Okay.
you know what? We're going to go 60. We want you in your safe place. We'll go a little quicker. It's better safe than sorry with that.
All right, we're going to name some of these cities out ahead of the path, and then we're going to check in with Tim. But Elwood, right now, looks like Elwood. Is Elwood even listed there?
Yep, at the top.
Oh, Elwood 949. It looks
About
like
right now.
Alexandria 957, and then eventually Gas City at 1009. All right, we're going to check in with Tim. He's on his way to Carmel, and I'm very curious what Tim's going to find once he gets up there. So let's check in with Tim, who's still on the roadways. What are you seeing, Tim?
Well, we're on 465, about 15 minutes out from Carmel. We have it set for Main Street around Carmel High School. What we've really been seeing is a lot of lightning strikes all around. About 20 minutes ago when we were over by the airport, it was right after you had gotten the report for 70-mile-per-hour winds, if I had heard that correct. and you could really feel that in the car. It's not like that right now, as we're kind of near just southeast of Zionsville, right between Zionsville and Indianapolis on the 465 loop. It doesn't feel that way now. You can actually see on the roads. Fortunately, power with the street lights has been fine, and we didn't see it go out at any point, though we saw plenty of cars just because the rain had gotten so heavy pull off to the side of the road. But we're now behind the storm trying to loop around. We should be in Carmel in 15 minutes to see any damage there. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Tim. And again, stay safe out there. I know the majority of the storms have passed your area. What Stephen and I are going to focus in on here is Lapel. We just got a wind gust report out of Lapel from the Weather Service of 87 miles an hour. Now, this could have been with a thunderstorm wind gust, or potentially we still have the tornado on the ground, because the circulation, as Stephen is noting here, has tightened up once again north and west of Anderson and moving very quickly. And at this point, Stephen, let's see if we can get a track to 69. I don't know if we can get the exact track to 69, if it will populate in there. But if it's moving to the north at 60 to 65 miles an hour, look, 69 is not too far out of the way from this circulation populating or going straight over a very populated highway and interstate we use.
About 15, 16 minutes away.
All right, 15, 16 minutes away. Obviously,
I'll shave off a couple minutes, actually.
Obviously, we have that other tornado-warned storm that's, I believe, getting into northern parts of Madison County.
And I think they just extended that, too. Yeah.
Okay.
Delaware County is under a tornado warning. About to find out more details on that in a second. Let me see. Locations impacted to include Ball State's in the new tornado warning. So Ball State needs to be sheltered too.
What Stephen's talking about is we have not had this tornado warning populate again on our map, but it does appear we're going to get one that's now going to include Delaware County and then also Ball State's campus. So we'll have that populate in here.
Yes, most of there we go.
All right, there's the new tornado warning that Stephen's highlighting there. It looks like they did take the confirmed tag off this thing, but still running till 10:15 in Delaware County, drifting to the northeast at also, what is it, 55, 60, I'd assume here?
I'm going to check here. Moving northeast now. They just bumped it up to 70.
Okay, so it's increasing its forward speed. So some of these locations need to take cover immediately. Anderson, look, this rotation, if you know people north of Anderson on State Road 9 need to get to shelter immediately. The area of rotation is going to cross State Road 9 and then eventually directly go over 69 before eventually nearing Ball State's campus in Muncie. Locations in the path would be Alexandria at 9:56, Summitville at 10 o'clock, and Ball State University at 10:03. All need to be in your safe space. We'll switch over to Drew Narsudis. Drew, do you have cameras or any other reports that are coming in?
We've got a camera. I'll take a look at those reports in a bit. This one, I-69, just south of Anderson. So we're going to see, again, not quite in that tornado-warned area, but close. Still plenty of traffic headed into that strong storm, and it looks like lots of lightning. This thing isn't slowing down anytime soon. So, again, this is on I-69 just south of Anderson, looking southwest. So it's not even looking towards the worst part of the storm here. So we'll keep an eye on this. I'm sure as this continues to move closer and closer to Muncie and along I-69, we'll have a lot more webcams up there for us to peek into the storm moving towards some of those communities.
All right, thank you, Drew. And obviously a serious situation. We have 2 tornado warnings. And Stephen, I think this is positive. With this last scan, we had the rotation loosen a bit with that one that was just north and east of Lapel. So I think we had that rotation back off just slightly. Obviously, we still have the tornado warning going forward. But look, Madison County, this may be a bit confusing. You're under 2 separate tornado warnings, one for the southern half of the county, which includes Anderson, and then one for the northern half of the county, which also includes Hamilton County, for Elwood, Alexandria, and Summitville, drifting off to the northeast 50, or actually, as Stephen was mentioning, now 60, 70. 65, and 70 miles an hour. So there are 2 separate tornadic circulations which are moving through Madison County that we're going to be watching here. Basically, both tornado warnings run until 10:15, I believe. The north one might run or expire shortly, Stephen. Let's go back to the north one. When is that north
10 o'clock.
warning? 10 o'clock. So that warning runs for another 8 minutes. But overall, we have 2 tornado warnings. Let's go back to the south and check in on the destructive severe thunderstorm warning, because that one is still producing gusts 80 miles an hour plus, and that can do equal damage compared to tornadoes in our area. Let's go back to the severe thunderstorm warning to the south. and see if they're getting rid of that destructive tag.
No, they're still keeping it. Matter of fact, we have a report per Indianapolis Dispatch Center. We have at least 6 different incidents with trees into homes and buildings. Now, at this time, thankfully, we do not have any reported injuries. That's the good news.
Okay,
Does that
good.
mean it's going to stay like that? Possibly not. These winds were really, really intense, and we're going through a populated area like that. High concern.
Obviously, no joke going through the area like that. 80-mile-an-hour winds just exiting Greenfield. You know, something I want to get checked in on. I know Drew Narsutis is behind the scenes. If we can get the power outages, because I know we're going to be flashing the power outage. All right, so we'll be watching that when Drew gets up for his next hit here. Newcastle, need to be in your safe space, even though you're not in a tornado warning. Straight line winds of 80 miles an hour plus are on the way to your region. And look, the Weather Service may extend this destructive severe thunderstorm warning further to the east.
They did.
They did?
Yes.
They just did?
Yes.
All right, so where's the new warning?
Until 10:30 p.m.
Okay.
It includes Newcastle, Mount Pleasant to Randolph County, including Winchester.
Okay, yeah, I see it. All right, so they added a county over on the destructive severe thunderstorm warning. But let's go back into the dual tornado warnings basically in Madison County. Both of these are still rotating. The rotation has fallen off slightly from the one to the south. We might have had that refresh here.
I will say on reflectivity, we just saw kind of a comet head feature. That's like a bookend vortex. So we'll see how that kind of evolves over the next few minutes.
Anderson, need to pay attention really closely, especially areas east of Anderson. To me, this is tightening right back up again, and we may get another confirmation of a tornado on the ground here. We'll see here in a second how this evolves. Click on debris tracker, because I know the Weather Service hasn't confirmed anything.
Don't see debris yet.
All right, not seeing anything. And we're also not seeing debris with the other tornado warning, which is the circulation just east of Elwood and west of Alexandria. All right, Drew Narsutis has some more damage reports. Drew, what do we got?
Yeah, unfortunately, this one doesn't sound very good at all. And this was in the path of where that tornado could have been. Structure collapse, a few people unaccounted for in Brownsburg, Indiana. I'm sure we're going to have many other incidents filing in now that people are starting to head out their homes and see what happened out near Carmel as well. So I'm sure we're going to have a flood of these coming up in the next half hour to hour, but it looks like there's some very serious damage already unfolding outside in some of our locations. Back to you, Ryan.
All right, thank you, Drew. I appreciate it. And look, we have boots on the ground heading to some of these damaged locations that Drew obviously is mentioning. Obviously, we have the tornado that was confirmed on the ground, potentially skipping or on the ground altogether from Brownsburg up to east of Carmel. What we have left over is the destructive severe thunderstorm warning tag, which includes Henry County, Newcastle, and then Muncie is also included not only in the destructive severe thunderstorm warning, but also the tornado warning, which is in Madison County. We have 2 tornado warnings left over. The Weather Service just added something to the tornado warning.
Actually, matter of fact, they're watching some mid-level rotation moving into Morgan County. Low-level rotation is comparatively weaker, so no immediate concern. They are watching the cells moving towards southeast Davies and southern Martin. One of those cells had a confirmed tornado earlier.
The delayed
as
line.
well.
The other part of the line, south and west.
Yes.
All right, let's zoom back out because we have not checked in on a bit south of I-70, but there is still the line Boeing south of I-70. And as Stephen was mentioning, the Weather Service in Morgan County was noting some rotation, but we do not have a tornado warning for the moment. But just a heads up, in Morgan County, you could be in this too with a potential tornado warning coming as well. But we'll be watching some of these areas south of I-70. The priority right now is the destructive severe thunderstorm warning, as well as both of the tornado warnings we still have in place. I believe we have one of them that will expire at 10. Is that true?
Correct.
Which one is the one that's
the one for Elwood?
The one through Elwood. So let's click on that and see how that one's doing.
And then that had
actually,
very weak
10,
rotation.
15.
Well, the polygons are overlapping each other. That rotation near Danville is strengthening, and it is going to move fairly close to Boston University's campus. So hopefully everyone there is going through safety protocol. Don't panic. Nothing on the ground now, but it can happen at any moment. So we want to take this seriously.
All right, just to give you an idea here, this is basically the Delaware County line where this area of rotation is about to cross I-69. And then the next target area is areas in Delaware County, Muncie, Ball State University, all need to take shelter here. This is one of our tornado warnings. We still have that other one that is set to expire here at the top of the hour. From there, it's going to be up to the Weather Service if they're going to continue that one, which is the rotation east of Elwood. That rotation that I'm looking at is weaker than what we have to the one on the south. But the track. Stephen drew out the entire track of both cells put together, and basically Ball State University, 10:01. Remember, this is drifting so quick to the northeast. I think it's now up to 70 miles an hour. Muncie at 10:02, and it looks like we're getting to Hartford City and eventually more areas to the east at 10:15 here.
Yeah, eventually towards Blackford and Jay County, eventually. Towards Grant, Blackford, Jay counties eventually.
Okay, and even if the Weather Service lets this one expire, this one goes to 10:15, the one that's going into Muncie and Ball State University, and we could get potentially more tornado warnings off to our southwest.
That more impressive circulation northeast of Anderson's crossing I-69 within a matter of probably 1 minute at most.
Mentioning. I think we may have a traffic camera. It's a long shot. I think we do have one that's north and east of Anderson. We'll have Drew maybe try to find where that camera is.
Never hurts to try.
At that point, it's going to probably be too late because it looks like it's going to be east of there. We'll be looking to see if we have any Muncie cameras, but overall, that rotation is basically directly over top I-69. Yorktown off to the east as well. Yorktown, you need to be in the safe spot.
Yeah, that's southern rotation, basically tracking right along 332. So familiar with that route, going to Ball State University, traveled that route many, many times.
Yeah.
So basically going to continue to watch us heading towards State Road 28, your Gaston to Eaton, Summitville. You're more in the path of that weaker rotation, but all rotations need to be taken seriously tonight. I'm afraid we're going to have many, many damage reports by tomorrow.
All right, yeah, obviously we're probably going to have the damage reports coming in here, power outage reports coming in here. I know we have boots on the ground going to some of these damaged locations. What we're going to do is take a quick break here. We're going to go into our top of our 10 o'clock newscast and kind of get a quick breath before we go over some more of these tornado warnings.
From Wish TV, Indiana's only statewide TV news network, this is a Storm Track 8 weather alert.
And good evening, everyone. Right now at 10 o'clock, we'll begin where Ryan just left off. Severe weather gripping all of Indiana tonight.
Yeah, and actually a confirmed tornado that kind of went through the upper half of the city. Also, it reports of at one point tonight, 44,000 people without power. So we've got boots on the ground. We've got reporters out surveying the damage, but we have an all-star weather team. The Storm Track 8 meteorologists, all of them join us right now, guys.
All right, thank you, guys. Obviously, serious situation this evening. This is meteorologist Stephen Deanna and Drew Narsutis joining me. We've been on storm coverage. I think what did we go on before? I think it was right around 8 o'clock.
Yeah, around 8:30 or so.
All right, and then Drew's been gathering us some key damage reports. He's also been checking in on our cameras. Sort of a reset here. We have multiple tornado warnings still active north and east of the metro area, so we're going to be diving into those until those expire. And Drew's going to be up to date on reports and trying to get cameras out ahead of this thing.
Unfortunately, it looks like the webcams become a little more sparse out towards this area. The good news / bad news is those southern storms may eventually be moving into places where we can have our eyes on it. So for now, let's just focus on what's ahead of us.
Drew, you may find some of these cameras up 69 out ahead of that secondary circulation, but yeah, you are correct. You're probably not going to get a camera on this one that's probably east of I-69 now. All right.
I see a debris signature.
All right, new debris signature. Is this confirmed from the Weather Service yet?
I don't think they put
all right. This is a tornado on the ground. We have debris now that is crossing I-69. Drew, see if you can find a camera along I-69 near this debris signature. Because even
I don't. I got one like a few miles north and a few miles south, but I'll do my best.
See, because if this is throwing debris in our atmosphere, you may see it littered on the roadways here. So tornado on the ground, crossing I-69, now heading into Delaware County, Muncie, Ball State University. You are next in the path of this tornado. What were you going to add? Did the Weather Service catch on to this?
I'm getting ready to go to that in a second. We're going to get to a new tornado warning in a second to Davies and Martin counties, but I'm getting more damage reports. Brownsburg, we have a structure collapse in Hendricks County, trees down and overturned semi. Really good wind signature going through Country Club Heights right now. Not seeing debris, but that was a minute ago. Now there's a clear-cut signal of debris.
This is what we call a clear-cut debris signature. So what Stephen's showing you is debris tracker. What debris tracker, or what we refer to as meteorologists, is correlation coefficient. What it's looking for is stuff in the atmosphere that is different than just plain old rain that is falling. And it clearly is noting potentially trees or anything else being wafted in our atmosphere, crossing I-69 into Delaware County. Stephen's trying to pull up some of these smaller areas. Stephen, can you read some of these streets. It's tough to read.
Yeah,
there.
this is State Road 332, hiking along 332 east of 69 near Bethel Avenue. It's going to cross Bethel Avenue within a matter of a couple minutes towards State Road 28. It could graze the far north side of Ball State's campus. Like there's some off-campus residences like
I think you're right.
Village
Off to the
Promenade
west. Is it west or northwest, those off-campus residents?
It's mainly north of campus.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Schumann Stadium's on the north side, campus, Shiler Apartments, Varsity House, Village Promenade. Those areas could get impacted by this tornado. It's going to be close, but too close for comfort. Take cover now.
Take cover now. Let's go back broader. I think they got rid of that other tornado warning, so we can move on from that.
I would assume they did at this point.
All right, it looks like they did drop that other tornado warning. So northern Madison County, you're still technically in this large confirmed tornado warning, but the area of rotation that we were watching into northern Madison County, it looks like it's fallen off enough where the Weather Service is not continuing that tornado warning, although you're still in the one part of the one that's moving into Muncie and parts of Delaware County. All right, we have Kyla, who is in Brownsburg. Brownsburg is one of those spots where we had, I believe, a confirmed tornado just west of Brownsburg, if not moved straight through Brownsburg. So, Kyla, what are you seeing out there? Are you seeing damage on the roads or power outages? What are you seeing?
Yeah, Ryan, I am here on Northfield Drive in Brownsburg in front of what seems to be a warehouse. As you can see, I've counted at least 13 fire trucks here. We see EMS making their way in here. Not entirely sure what exactly is going on here. Of course, we just hopped out of the car, but I'll have my photographer, Blake, move in here. You can see this water coming out of these pipes up at the top of this warehouse. Just a massive destruction inside. It looks as though at least half of this wall is torn out here. Again, we're in Brownsburg, where what we believe to be a tornado to have ripped through the area. There's a major destruction here. You can just see the debris lining outside of this warehouse. Like I said, I see Brownsburg EMS, Avon EMS, multiple buildings fire trucks here. And like I said, we just got here, but along the way here, we had about a 10-minute drive, and I saw multiple trees down, power lines down. We'll get out of the way here. Power lines down, along with just debris kind of lining the area. Along with that, we've seen a lot of people on the roads. There are hazards on, but we recommend you not be on the roads right now with what the conditions look like. We also saw several Avon police cars, Brownsburg police cars, Hendricks County Sheriff kind of making their way around. Some people, on the side of the road there, pulled over as they should be. So I'm going to work to gather some information here about exactly what went down and who all is involved. But for now, I'll send it back to you all.
Hey, Kyla, before we leave you, what kind of warehouse is behind you there? We're kind of curious looking.
I'm not entirely sure. Here's what I'll tell you. I have about 4 garages here. So it looks as though something was getting dropped off or shipped out here. This is an area in Brownsburg. I'm from Hendricks County. I'll tell you, this is an area in Brownsburg where there are multiple warehouses just in this area. And so as to what exactly this warehouse did and what process it served, I'm not entirely sure. Those are questions that I'll be ready to ask here in just a few moments.
All right, thank you, Kyla. We're going to check back in with you when you get more information, but appreciate you being out there. All right, now we still have a confirmed tornado on the ground. I don't want to look that over. This is in Delaware County and closing in on areas Muncie and Ball State University. Stephen, let's broaden out a little bit, kind of get a reset. But this tornado warning runs until, I believe it was 10:15.
10:15.
Now it's more on the northern side of the county, but still moving to the northeast. Is it wrapping in here? It might be wrapping in here.
There's still debris signature, and while I was so zoomed in, I was going to get some landmarks for you.
Okay.
It's passing just north of Shiler Apartments. Is right here, right near the intersection of Tillotson and McGalliard. Also passing into the Village Promenade place, and also north of Schumann Stadium there. But it's going to pass pretty close to Delaware County Regional Airport as well.
And it looks like Anthony or
all right,
it looks like Gaston's right here. Let's get reflectivity, because I do think this might be wrapping in.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Look, so what we're referring to here on reflectivity, first off, you're not going to see anything if you're trying to see this tornado. But basically, we have the Boeing line, and where the tornado is, it's basically wrapping back into the rain even further. So south and east of Gaston, we have that tornado that's on the ground, still showing a debris signature. And just a heads up, anyone in this tornado warning, because it's so wide, when it's wrapping back in, it's moving more off to the north than it is east. So some of these areas to the north may have to pay more attention just the way it's deviating on radar.
Yeah, the fact that it jogged north like that.
Straight north.
If you were anywhere in the polygon, I don't care if you're still in, I don't care if you're in Somerville, I still want you to remain sheltered for the next few minutes. Eden, you've got to be sheltered. It's got to be pretty much for you. I would say Muncie, remain in their safe place. This is just one of those nights where anywhere in the polygon, you've got to respect the polygon.
You know what, Stephen? Let's pull up velocity and just run the last 15 minutes, because I'm sure you're going to see this thing curve off to the north. So go back to the state line. It was drifting to the east, and then I'm pretty sure the last two runs have almost been straight to the north. So there you go. It's drifting off to the east, and then boom, it starts to go more north the minute it's wrapping back in to that cyclone there. So again, dangerous situation. We got a tornado on the. Ooh, we might have.
That's a false reading.
All right, that's a false reading. Just making sure there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still have that debris signature basically on top of Gaston right now, moving more to the northeast than northeast previously, I would say here.
Yeah, crossing North Wheeling Avenue right now. It's going to eventually hike over State Road 3 north towards Eaton. I would say in a matter of minutes, the Weather Service, our friends in northern Indiana, probably going to have to extend a tornado warning into Blackford and Jay County. So everyone in between Hartford City to Portland, you need to be within a step of your safe place. I'd start heading there now, honestly.
So here's what the tricky thing is. Our National Weather Service office in Indianapolis cuts off right here to the National Weather Service office in northern Indiana. That's why you have more of these weird shaped polygons, because we're switching offices. So the National Weather Service in northern Indiana would be the ones to extend this warning more north, potentially into Blackford County and potentially into Hartford City. Do we have any other areas of rotation, or is this our lone tornado warning?
We need to get south because of that new tornado warning creeping into Martin County. So we're going to check on that real quick. The velocity is not as strong. It had previously produced a tornado in Pike County, from what the Weather Service in Indianapolis was saying. So southern half of Martin County, including Shoals, just because it's weaker, that does not mean we're going to tell you, oh, just let your guard down and do whatever. No, you need to be in your safe place.
All right, and I do want to mention the bulk of our stuff has been along I-70 and north of I-70. I think the next couple hours left in this storm system, our focus is going to be south of I-70. All right, we're going to check in with Drew Narsudis. I think, Drew, you got some more storm reports there?
Yeah, I've got a little bit more damage reports out there. You guys were talking about that 87-mile-per-hour gust near LaPella, Indiana earlier. That has become official. We also have at least 6 incidents with either trees, homes, or buildings destruction or damage in Carmel area. We also have a traffic signal blown into the intersection of Williams Creek community in near Indianapolis, just north. So again, these storms are packed a punch, and we're only now uncovering some of the damage that's been left behind.
And you know, Drew, we have Tim Spears. Tim Spears is on the way to Carmel, so we're going to get a quick ground look at all those damage reports you just mentioned here. We're going to get that in here, and then I'm sure Drew will go over power outages in a minute. So our new focus is for some of these southern communities, as Stephen was mentioning. We have a new tornado warning, which includes Martin County. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, we did have an EF2 tornado which moved through Davies County into Lagodi. So this is not too far from those locations. And what's going to happen here is, if this holds together, this is going to start drifting more into south central Indiana. Bedford's going to be watching it, and eventually down the line we may be watching a stretch from Bloomington to Columbus where this ends up. So that's going to be our next area of focus once we have that line north and east of the metro area exiting the state. All right, Tim Spears is live. I believe he has made it to Carmel, so let's check in with Tim, because obviously we had that confirmed tornado go through Carmel. So Tim, what are you seeing out there?
Well, right now we're still looking. We're on the road. We're on 146th Street, and when we were coming up on along Keystone Pikeway, we did see some tree debris, scattered branches and leaves like that on the roads. Now we're trying to look for the source of that, where maybe any trees went down, where and I could say right now it's very dark around here, so I think we're around some power outages. Yeah, that's very safe to say. These are definitely right now we've just gotten to a portion of 146 where it just went pitch black. We were on Rangeline a moment ago, and it still had street lights and all of that. Not so much around here. This is a moment where our viewers could really help us out. If you're seeing damage around your area, tell us where you are, email us, use social media, and then that way we can go and find it. But yeah, right now we're on 146th Street. We're passing by townhomes, apartment buildings. They are dark right now. We're going around, street lights are out. And we do know somewhere there must be some tree damage, but I'll reach out to you once we find that. Back to you.
Okay, just to mention for you, Tim, tornado damage is often pretty thin, so it will take some looking. Again, stay safe up there and let us know immediately when you find something. So obviously we still have tornado warnings out for parts of central Indiana. We have one still north and east of the metro area, and we have this one in Martin County, which is south of Shoals, running until 10:30. So do we have a new update on this one for Stephen?
Not for Martin.
Okay.
Not for Martin County. It's tracking northeast of 60. We're going to get a quick track on this, and then we're going to go back north because they extended the tornado warning in northeastern Delaware. So real quick for our friends down here near Shoals.
Bedford.
Eventually it's could move towards Bedford. I'm going to try and include you in this track because it's been basically tracking up in that general direction. So here you go.
All right, so next locations within this potential tornado warning that could be issued or extended: French Lick at 10:18, Bedford 10:38, and it looks like Lydic at 10:41. All right, we're going to toss things back to Kyla Russell. She's in Brownsburg, and that is definitely one of those spots we had the confirmed tornado. So do you have any updates, Kyla?
Yeah, Ryan, so we are here in Brownsburg, and I can tell you, I spoke to you just a few minutes ago. I asked a few people some questions. We do know that this is an area where Sur La Table is. So if you're familiar with Brownsburg in the Hendricks County area, that's something you might know. I will tell you also, there are at least 16 fire trucks out here, and I have seen multiple stretchers coming to and from one area of the warehouse. So of course, keep that in mind as we try to get answers here. But like I said, Sur La Table and multiple massive damage here to this warehouse, and then around on this side. I'm going to have my photographer Blake move the camera here. Around these trucks, past that, there's even more damage. We see most of the roof is gone and all of the side of the wall. So I'll continue to search for answers and keep you posted as I get them, okay?
All right. Thank you, Kyla. Again, stay safe out there. We still have rain and heavy rain falling, damaging winds. Let's check in with Drew Narsutis. So we do have a traffic alert, and this potentially may be associated with that tornado that did cross the highway on the northwest side. Drew.
Yeah, it's right about where we were talking about it, just north in the northern sections, Eagle Creek, I-65. It looks like it's the southbound lanes currently closed at the moment. We do have some radar or some webcams pointing in the area, but I think because the strong storm moved through, a lot of them are not acting right, so we're having a hard time getting you a look, but there is a big backup. The reason for it, roadblock due to overturned vehicle, I-65 southbound. So again, that is just one of the many issues we are now struggling with after the storm has passed on through. We'll have more updates in just a bit.
Yeah, you may be right, Drew. If we did have that tornado cross the highway there, it's not a bet that our cameras might still be online. So obviously we'll check back in on that traffic alert to see how much we're backed up. What's the latest with warnings, Stephen? I know we still have this tornado warning.
New tornado warning until 10:30 p.m. It's supposed to be 14 minutes. There's also a destructive severe thunderstorm warning until 11 p.m. going towards Grant, Blackford, Jake counties. This is for winds that's 80 miles per hour. We had a gust at the Muncie ASOS station of 70 miles per hour as well.
All right, I'm going to buy a second here because Drew has found the traffic camera, which is showing our tremendous backup on 65 southbound, and I have it actually behind me. So this is 65 southbound, which is tremendously backed up at 82nd Street. I know Drew was saying we didn't have cameras online closer to the accident. But look, when we were tracking that tornado that went from Brownsburg and crossed 65, this may have been around the location that it did track over. So we'll be checking back in on this traffic camera. Obviously a massive backup on the city's northwest side. All right, let's pull radar back up because Stephen was mentioning we got the destructive severe thunderstorm warning tag. Looks like they're not continuing the tornado warning. Is that correct?
I'm awaiting for more information on it from the northern Also, too, Madison County receiving multiple reports of damage, including State Road 13 closed in LaPel. State Road 13 in LaPel is closed due to a silo and possible overturned semi in LaPel area. Everyone from the newsroom back there. Many roads impassable due to debris in the road. We'll update when more info is to come.
That is where we had our debris signature also go through. So Drew, also a heads up there. It looks like we may have another traffic alert caused by a tornado crossing one of our major roads here. All right, to reset with this destructive severe thunderstorm warning, we have the tornado warning. Again, that includes northern parts of Delaware County running until 10:30. Destructive severe thunderstorm warning tag producing 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts just north of that, and that includes Hartford City and places to the north. Overall, this is, I believe, our last tornado warning with the northern mode of this system at this point. I think that's correct. All right, so just let's zoom all the way out. Let's put reflectivity back. And this is the last of the northern mode of this storm system. We still have the destructive severe thunderstorm warning tag for areas like Richmond. If you are traveling I-70, Newcastle to Richmond, not the time to be on the roads with winds gusting potentially 70, 80 miles an hour plus. This line is going to be pushing out of the state, and then we're done with the northern mode. From there, our focus is going to be shifting south of I-70, and whether or not we get some embedded rotations within the southern mode of severe weather. So obviously we still have a good amount of severe thunderstorm warnings to go, but it looks like, did they just let that tornado warning expire? They might have. Oh, no, it's still there.
Not yet. By the way, multiple reports of lines down from Delaware County EMA starting to receive reports of structural damage to residences. I don't have an actual location. I do want to mention, you were talking about embedded rotation. Ryan, we're going to have to watch this one in Johnson County and Shelby County.
Okay, let's go right back to that.
It is trying to, there are severe thunderstorm warnings, by the way, winds up to 60 to 70 miles per hour expected. Warnings up to the southeastern quarter of Marion County. Yeah, that's what I'm currently watching. It's not quite
it's trying, but
tight, yeah.
So what Stephen's referring to is it looks like we're starting to see the tightening of the reds and greens on the bottom mode of this line. So if it starts to wrap in some more inflow from this green or inbound velocity, that's when our concern for the tornado threat will grow in Johnson County. Right now, not in a tornado warning, just a severe thunderstorm warning, which runs till what? 10:30.
The warning east of Indy until 11 o'clock towards Greenfield.
Okay.
That's a warning that is not destructive tag, thankfully, but still straight line wind damage possible.
And I think that's good. Some of these cells now, or this line is mainly with wind gusts 60 miles an hour plus to 80 miles an hour plus. So hopefully we see this line trying to weaken the further east it goes. So this is our lone tornado warning left over, with the one in north and east of the metro area north of Muncie set to expire probably at 10:30 and then go off into northern Indiana's office. Martin County until 10:30. We have this area of rotation. It's been radar indicated, nothing to indicate that this is on the ground for the moment, but to kind of give you a perspective, this is just west of French Lick. This will be the next cell we're watching into south central Indiana. All right, we're going to get an update from Brownsburg, because we've been watching Brownsburg closely from our coverage just a few hours ago when we had that confirmed tornado in the area. Kyla, what are you seeing?
Yeah, Ryan, so some unfortunate news here. Last we spoke, I said I had seen several stretchers kind of make their way from the fire trucks to the building behind me. That's Sur La Table here in Brownsburg, of course, a warehouse that we've seen much destruction in. I have confirmed that there is a woman trapped inside, and they're working to make sure she gets freed. Of course, you can see behind me, I'm going to have my photographer zoom in here. There's multiple fire trucks right beyond this fire truck that's behind me. Based on where we are, you can't see it super clearly, but I've counted at least 12 to 13 firemen and women that are there working, trying to free her. So of course I do have that confirmed here in Brownsburg. I'm working to get as much information as I can, but like I said, the conditions here are still rough. You know, the rain is still coming down as they work on that, and also, you know, we see so much the trees here, the debris, and it kind of just continues to deteriorate out here. I'm going to continue trying to get answers, but wanted to make sure I brought you that update first.
All right, thank you, Kyla. That's not the best update, and we're hoping for the best for those people that were affected there. And obviously, that's always our fear going into severe weather. You get someone caught in one of these tornadic circulations, or we're getting the winds the way we have, 80 miles an hour plus, and that's affecting someone. So hoping for the best. Our next tornado warning we continue to monitor is in southern parts of Martin County, south and east of Shoals. Stephen, looking at this, I really think they're going to extend it further to the north.
They could, but remember, with the Indy radar, we don't get as good of a look. We are looking higher up. That mid-level rotation definitely on the stronger side. Yeah.
What's Evansville? Is Evansville weaker?
Yeah, weaker, but it's still there. But I don't think it's not as impressive.
So this rotation's still there. We're going to be monitoring this as our next tornadic chance.
Northern Orange County.
Okay. All right, so we got a new tornado warning. Orange County until 10:45. This includes French Lick, and you know what, Stephen? This is in the exact spot we had those couple tornadoes a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
The exact spot.
Insane.
Passing north of French Lick, so people know the deal. We'll dive back into this warning in a second. Drew has another update with, what do we got, Drew? Damage reports, or what are we looking at on the traffic cameras, too?
Yeah, we'll go back to traffic in just a bit. First, let's take a look at some of those damage reports. Large tree down onto the street in Speedway, Indiana. I have a feeling it's not just Indiana. We're going to have many, many, many communities with that sort of tagline as we move into tomorrow morning. Wake up and see what all has happened. We also have quite a scene out in the Geist Reservoir area. Reports of furniture blown down the street, large tree limbs and tree tops down in the Geist Reservoir area just off towards the northeast Indianapolis. So we'll be keeping an eye as these damage reports roll in, and I'll have another look at that one traffic accident and any others that have popped up since.
All right.